Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Um, it is June is Men's Health Month, so we thought it would be great to bring in a guest speaker to just offer kind of a lot of good insight on all things men's health. Our guest speaker today is Rob Brown. He has studied exercise science at Northern Arizona University. He's a health and fitness professional, been working in the industry for many years, has worked with all sorts of clients, men, women, and has helped so many people get healthier and be well just through a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, exercise, and love his philosophies. And so super excited, Rob, to have you here. And I'll let you do a little bit of a better intro to yourself and to the topic today. But thank you again, and it's all yours.
Awesome. First of all, I appreciate you having me on and appreciate all of you taking the time out of your busy days to come hear about some men's health. It can be a touchy topic, but what I'm here to do today is to simplify it. My main goal today is to just give some brief education on nutrition, on fitness, on sleep and stress. And that way you can take everything that you learned today and apply it immediately to your life, wherever you feel like you need help after I go through this whole presentation. As I'm going through it, you're going to be noticing things that you may want to improve or may want to start implementing or may not even realize that it was a problem. So the chat is open. Erica is going to be monitoring that. So if you have any questions at all or want to just say something, feel free to plug into that chat at any time. Erica, you can interrupt me at any time. If someone has a question and you want to shout it out, feel free to interrupt me. Other than that, yeah, that was a great background on myself. I'm originally from Jersey, and I have worked with clients of all ages, gender, all the way from 8 years old all the way up to 95 was one of my oldest clients. And I've worked with general population. I've worked with high school athletes, youth athletes, collegiate athletes, and some professional athletes as well. I created Next Level Fitness 5 years ago because I believe that every person has and is at their own current level of fitness, and they have their own unique next level of fitness that they are trying to achieve. So I don't have cookie cutter programs. I don't have things I just throw people into. Like if you want to gain muscle, I don't have like a muscle gaining program. I have principles from nutrition and principles with exercise that work. And then we adjust your workout program or we adjust your nutrition plan based on what you need specifically. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into this. Go ahead and go to next slide. So today's topic, it's going to pop up here. So we're going to talk about nutrition, why it's important, how to simplify it, fitness, how to get started or restarted in the gym, effects on overall health and testosterone levels, and how to level up your fitness if you're already active, if you're already working out. We're going to also go over chronic disease prevention, preventing heart disease, high cholesterol, blood pressure, and the importance of a PCP and regular checkups. And then how to manage your sleep and stress, overcoming the tough guy mentality, because us men, we can be very stubborn and we can have that tough guy, like I'm just going to tough this thing out. I don't need to talk to anybody about this. And ways to manage and overcome stress. So go ahead and go next. So nutrition, go ahead and click. So proper nutrition is one key to living a healthy life. So even if you lack in exercise, a positive relationship with food will at least keep your body in a healthy state. Next. So Erica, yeah, when you see me get to the end, you can go ahead and just keep clicking until the screen pretty much fills up. So all food is energy. Go ahead and click again. So if we eat more than we exercise, we're going to gain weight. If we eat a little bit less than we exercise, calorie-wise, talking about calories in versus calories out, we're going to lose weight. And if we eat the same amount of calories that we burn, we're pretty much just going to maintain our weight where we're at right now. So this is a very simple principle to gaining weight versus losing weight. Now, I do like to talk about the quality of nutrition, because even if you're eating less, but that less food is, let's say, McDonald's or fast food, you may lose weight. However, you'll still be unhealthy because you're missing a lot of micro and macronutrients that are going to be good for your body. Go ahead and hit next. I might have touched something. So all food is made of 3 macronutrients. So the first one is going to be protein. Why do we need protein? Go ahead and just keep clicking, Erica. So protein builds muscle. We need it for energy, maintains body pH, and it transports nutrients in our body. Why do we need carbs? Aside from the fact that they usually taste really good, it's our #1 source of energy in our body. It helps digestive regulation as far as fiber. Fiber is a carbohydrate, balance blood sugars, and it helps with muscle contractions. And then fats. We do need good, healthy fats. It's for organ protection, brain and eye health, immune system. And we also use fat for energy as well. Go ahead and go next. So timing matters. Go ahead and 1 click. So you want to eat within the first hour of waking up. We do not want to be skipping breakfast, because if, let's say, the last meal you had was at 9 p.m., if you skip breakfast and you don't eat all the way until, let's say, noon, that's a long time to not fuel your body. So what will happen is your metabolism will actually slow down, because just like I talked about, all food is energy. So if we're not giving our body energy, our energy burning system, aka our metabolism, will want to slow down in order to hold on to energy. That's evolutionary in our body, to want to hold on to energy in case we have a long time of not eating. We want to eat like a baby, which, if you have a baby or have had one, a baby eats every 2 to 3 hours. And the only reason why we stop eating every 2 to 3 hours is because we get old enough to then make the decision to not eat or skip meals, or we get really busy with school or work or family or whatever it is. We want to make sure to have 3 major meals throughout the day and 2 to 3 snacks. Now, a snack is going to be 100 to 200 calories. Anything higher than that is really just turning into a smaller meal and not a snack. And I talk about don't sink your ship. So if you can think about a timeline from, first thing in the morning all the way to the end of the night, if you eat late at night, what's going to happen is you're going to tip your scale. So you're going to sink your ship. So what will happen is, if you're not hungry in the morning, it might be because you tend to eat really late and eat heavy at night, which will tend to skip breakfast, which will slow your metabolism down, which will make you really hungry later in the day, which makes you eat a lot at night. And it's a constant cycle. And our bodies can only absorb so much at one time. So even if we need a lot of nutrients, if we tend to overeat, a lot of what we're eating is actually getting either stored as fat, or it's just going to go waste to the toilet. So we want to make sure that we're eating in the proper amounts, and we're not eating too late at night. However, eating late at night is only bad for 2 reasons. #1, usually we've eaten all of the calories that we need to eat in order to hit whatever goal that we're trying to do, whether it's weight loss or maintain or even gaining weight. So eating late at night can put us in a caloric surplus, which is too many calories. Also, I don't know about you, but when I eat at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, if I do, it's usually not chicken, rice, and broccoli. It's usually some sort of sweet, something that's going to be unhealthy. So the only reason why eating late at night may be unhealthy is because it's going to put you in a caloric surplus, or it's unhealthy. Now, if you've been working and you haven't had dinner, then eating late doesn't matter, because those calories that you eat are going to fall within your caloric range for the day. So let's go ahead and let's go next. So a choice. Go ahead and click again. So 1 choice. I talk about choices in terms of serving sizes, because it is your choice as to how much you want to eat. So 1 choice is 15 grams of carbohydrates. Go ahead and click a couple more times. It's going to be the size of your palm, and it's also going to be the thickness of your palm. Now, this is just something that is an estimate. This is not an exact. Go ahead and click about 2 more times, Erica. Perfect. One more time. So protein, go back one. Sorry. Protein, one choice is going to be 20 grams. Again, it's going to be the same palm size and palm thickness. This is how you can now look at a meal and say, okay, well, that's about 2 choices of carbs. That's about 1 choice of protein. And then fat, 1 choice is going to be 15 grams. And a choice is about 2 thumbs worth. So butter, peanut butter, avocado, healthy fats like that, olive oil are about 2 thumbs. So now when you look at a meal, like I said, you can use your palm sizes, you can use your thumb. So now when you're serving dinner, instead of using a spoon, just stick your hand in there and scoop out some corn and put it on a plate. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Family might get mad. So this is a great way that you can pay attention now to portion sizes without counting calories, without carrying a scale with you everywhere. Because if you're going to go to a restaurant, obviously you're not going to bring a food scale with you. So this is a great way to have mindfulness about your eating. Go ahead and go next. So now I'm going to talk about how many of these choices you should have for each one of these macronutrients. And again, this is an average. So this is something that you can just look at as an average. If you want more dialed in specific numbers for you, obviously we can talk about that after this call. But if you do not exercise, or if you're looking to lose a little bit of body weight, lose a little bit of fat, I would suggest that you have 10 choices per day. If you do exercise, we're going to want a little bit more calories. So 12 choices per day. Now you can cycle this. On your workout days, you can have a little bit more carbs. On your non-workout days, I would just have a little bit less carbs. So 10 choices on your off days, 12 choices on your on days. Go ahead, next.
Quick question, just to
Sure.
clarify. So if you're looking at this, and let me just go back just to kind of, so if 15 grams of carbs is 1 choice, you're trying to do a math person. So 150 grams per day. If you're trying to reduce your calories, trying to trim up a little bit. But if you add exercise and you're adding in like maybe 30 more grams or so a day, and it can go up from there really too, depending on your body weight and size.
Right.
So this is kind of just an estimate, correct? Okay.
Yep. This, like I said, this is an estimate. These are just overall numbers. These are something that you can pay attention to. But again, if you want specific numbers for you exactly, obviously, then I would talk to someone, a nutritionist or even a trainer like myself, who can really dial in your numbers. But this is something you can start to pay attention to. And if you have a lot of weight to lose, you're going to want to eat a little bit more. So just judge based off of your hunger level. So go ahead and click one more time, because this is going to help how you can spread out your carbs throughout the day. And I'm going to put this in a visual right after I go through the protein and I go through the fat. So if you do not exercise on a day, 5 to 6 choices of protein will be good. If you do exercise, 7 to 8 choices will be great, because if you're exercising, you're going to be breaking down your muscle, and you need a little bit more protein to help repair that muscle breakdown, and also help fuel your energy as well. And again, these are averages. So this is a good guide, but it can go up or down based on your specific needs. Now we can go to the next one. So fats, pretty much the same. 3 choices a day if you don't exercise, 4 choices a day if you do exercise. So as you can see, if you're exercising, you can eat a little bit more. In fact, you should be eating a little bit more because you're going to be burning a lot more calories. And when you're in the gym, you're never building muscle in the gym. You're always breaking your muscles down. So through the breakdown, let's say you're doing a bicep curl over and over, that contraction and relaxation of the muscle will cause little micro tears, and those micro tears need to be repaired. That's where the size of the muscle can start to grow. And if you're not eating enough, if you're not drinking enough water and getting enough sleep, those micro tears will actually turn into scar tissue. They won't heal properly, and you actually leave yourself at a higher rate of injury. So go ahead and go next. So now what I want to show you is what a regular day, all these numbers I just put out there, how many choices you should have, what this looks like. So go ahead and go all the way to dinner. Just click all the way. Yep, there we go. So in the morning, let's say you have 3 egg whites. 3 egg whites is going to be about 20 grams of protein. So there's your 1 choice of protein for breakfast.
Wait, I can have a whole stick of butter there?
It's not a whole stick. No, I'm gonna get
Just
there.
kidding.
Couple pieces of whole wheat toast or English muffin, and then again, you want to pay attention to those palm or those thumb sizes. So a serving of fat would be about 2 thumb sizes worth of that butter. No, not the entire stick. A snack, you can have a banana with some peanut butter. I would say, again, about a tablespoon of peanut butter. A banana is going to be about 30 grams of carbs on average, the medium-sized banana. So remember, one serving, one choice of carbohydrates was 15 grams. So a banana is 30 grams. That cleans up your carbs for that one snack. Now, lunch, you can see 2 chicken breasts, a serving of broccoli, and a palm-sized serving of brown rice. You're going to get 2 carb sources there, and you're going to get 2 protein sources. Now, another snack, an apple and a handful of almonds. And then dinner, obviously, you're going to have 2 pieces of meat there. You're going to have your quinoa and a serving of asparagus. Now, if you look, you have the eggs, which is 1, 2 pieces of chicken is 3, 2 pieces of meat, that's 5. That's about 5 choices. You're going to get a little bit of protein from the other food on these plates, but those are 5 major protein choices. Now, carbs, you can see how I spread them out throughout the day. So even if you should have 6 to 7 servings of carbohydrates, you don't want to have all those in one sitting. You want to make sure to spread those out, because fat, like I said, fat on our body is stored energy. Carbohydrates are our #1 source of energy. We need them, but if we overeat on our carbohydrates in one sitting, that's overeating on our energy, and our energy will be stored as fat. So go ahead and click 3 times for me, Erica. So this is what I tend to see as a coach. I tend to see people skipping breakfast. My clients usually don't have a snack, and they usually don't have a snack right there in the middle of the afternoon. And then what I tend to see is a little bit later night eating. So click it 3 more times for me. And these are 3 ways that you can fill these gaps. Now, Lean is just a protein powder. It's a plant-based protein. This doesn't have to be the exact brand that you use. This is just what I use and what I trust. But you can have a protein shake in the morning, because if you skip breakfast, it's probably going to be very hard for you to start incorporating breakfast immediately, like having a full breakfast. So a shake is a nice, easy substitute. And then another snack you can use, I use collagen and greens. You can use a protein bar there. You want to make sure to look at the quality of the supplements that you're taking, because in my world, and what I say is, cheap supplements are basically the equivalent of fast food, quality-wise. Now, if you're skipping a snack, this is where we need to make a lifestyle adjustment. So we need to get that apple in. We need to get those almonds in. You don't always want to substitute food for supplements. Supplements are a great filler, but at some point, we do need to make that lifestyle adjustment and make sure that we're getting whole food in those gaps and not just filling gaps with supplements. But supplements are a very important key if you're having a hard time filling your day to look like this. So this is what an optimal day of eating should look like, with your meals and carbs and proteins and fats spread out throughout the day. So go ahead and go next. So here are some tips for leaning up. Go ahead and click again. Remove 1 to 2 carb choices a day. 1 more time there, I believe. Good. So if you remove a carb choice or 2, you may run a little bit low on energy, because carbs are our #1 source of energy. So what I would suggest would be to get a low-calorie energy supplement. And I'm not talking about energy drinks. I'm not like, don't go after Red Bulls. You want to make sure that it's something healthy. Exercise for 30+ minutes a day, 3 times a week. Your body will need to recover. So I suggest getting a nice clean protein supplement so that your body can get a little bit of extra protein that's easier to digest than, let's say, chicken. And you'll notice some really nice results from a good, solid protein powder from your workouts. Drink a gallon of water a day. And if you're like me, I'm terrible at drinking water. Sometimes a little bit easier when it's 117 degrees outside. But what I like to do is I like to find something healthy to just flavor my water, because if it's flavored, I tend to drink a lot more. And my natural flavors I like would be something like lemons, even some limes, cucumbers. You can use some fresh veggies and fruits like that. Some strawberries would be okay. Whatever flavors you like. I would definitely add that to the water if you have a hard time drinking water. Something, like I said, something flavoring it really helps me to get my water intake in. And this next one, I don't really tell people to stop doing something, but fast food and soda are just not serving you at all. Those are two things I can tell people just to cut out. You don't need them. Now, if you're on the go, this can be difficult. So if you're not prepping your food properly, like the next one says, meal prepping, now you have some knowledge as to how to make a healthier choice. So there are plenty of options for you to order food. You don't have to stop and get McDonald's or Burger King or the unhealthy fast food chains. There are a lot of great healthy options that you can go to. And one tip that I'll give you is something that I never really thought about, which is grocery stores. You think about grocery stores, the first thing you think about is getting groceries. But when it comes to getting a meal, like you're going to walk into Chipotle, or you can walk into a restaurant, you can walk into a grocery store, and they have plenty of ready to go healthy meals that you can just grab and go. Some fresh fruit cups, maybe some sandwiches that are made, or some grilled chicken that's already made. You can go to a grocery store and almost use that as a substitute for any of the unhealthy fast food choices. And then when you're eating, I suggest that you eat your protein first, at least the majority of it. Because if anything, if you're going to leave anything on your plate, leave the carbs or leave the fat. Make sure that you're getting at least your protein in. It's going to help you feel fuller throughout the day, and it'll digest a lot slower, so you won't feel as hungry. So those are some tips to leaning up. So let's go to the next slide. So now we're going to dive into some fitness. So exercising is a key to a long, healthy life. Nutrition can keep your bodily functions healthy, but exercise will regulate those bodily function as well as build a strong foundation for a strong life, especially in the later years. So go ahead and click again, and then hit me with 2 more clicks. So I've trained over 100 clients who are over the age of 75. And truly and honestly, there was a very distinct difference between those clients who took care of their health over the years and those who did not. So on the right, you can see, a picture of some guys and a couple gals there working out in their older years. And then you see a picture of a guy who's kind of bound to a wheelchair. And granted, sometimes things in life happen that are completely out of our control. Something that might be genetic, or a car accident, or something that happens that you just don't have any control of. But what we can control is moving our body, exercising, eating properly, drinking enough water, and stacking the deck in your favor. Again, there are some things that will happen that we can't control, but at the end of the day, when you get into those older years, you want to be active, you want to be running around, you don't want to be bound to a chair like this guy is here, as much as you can control it. And when I trained those hundreds of clients that were over the age of 75, it was just an amazing difference in the quality of life that I saw. And it really inspired me to continue to take care of myself, because when I get to my older years, I definitely don't want to be bound to a chair. I want to be traveling, running around with my grandkids or great grandkids, or whatever I'm blessed to have in my later years. So go ahead and go next.
This is great. I just want to say one thing, because I really like this point, Rob. We don't always think about our future and what it looks like when we're old, and it gets a little harder to take care of ourselves. But I do want to say that it's awesome that you have clients that are older that come to you, and some of them may have not ever had a healthy lifestyle before. And so even if you feel like you're a little older and you haven't been as active, it's really never too late to start, and to start getting healthier and to start moving more. It's always going to improve your quality of life no matter when you start. But I agree with your point here too, that just the earlier the better. Absolutely. But it's never too late. So I love that. Thank you for that.
It is never too late. And those clients who I've trained that were over 75, I didn't train them before. I didn't train them when they were younger. I like to dig into people's purpose and their why for working out. And most of them want to just live longer, live healthier, but also, like I said, they want to play with their grandkids. Like one of my clients, her only goal for working out was just to be able to play with her granddaughter. And so she knew that she had to be healthy. She knew that she couldn't get tired or, hurt herself just by bending over. So yeah, it's never too late, because just like you said, as we get older, it only gets harder. So at some point, you do need to start taking care of yourself, because it only goes downhill from there. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Erica, and you can go to the next. So fitness and testosterone. Just a little education here. The function of testosterone, it's a sex hormone. So it plays roles in our body in many different ways, men and women alike. But mostly in men, it regulates our sex drive, our bone mass, fat distribution, muscle mass, and strength. It also helps produce red blood cells and sperm. And the normal levels are between 300 and 1100 nanograms. I know that's a big range, but those are the normal levels that you can find yourself in. So if you have low testosterone, you may not even know it. If you haven't gotten any blood tests done, if you haven't had any tests, but these are some signs that you can pay attention to. So decreased sex drive, low energy, maybe unwanted random weight gain, especially feeling of depression and moodiness, low self-esteem, you'll lose some body hair and you'll have thinner bones. So the dip in testosterone takes place and starts right around the age of 30 and continues to go down. There are natural ways to reduce this. I won't say prevent, because testosterone is going to reduce over our years as men and women consistently regardless. So we can reverse that a little bit and slow down the reduction of testosterone in our body by lifting weights. And studies have shown that particularly heavier weights at higher intensity with a little bit shorter rest period, what that's going to do, it's going to challenge your body to create testosterone so that you can have the energy and have the strength to get through that workout. Now, before I move on from that, I'm going to get into how to get into working out, but it says heavier weights and higher intensity. Now, that doesn't mean just going and jumping into a crazy workout program and lifting super heavy. There is a progression that you need to get to, but these are tactics that can help. And also getting proper sleep, managing your stress, and actually vitamin D has been attached to lower testosterone levels in men. So making sure you're getting a sufficient amount of vitamin D can also help with that. So go ahead and go next. So just like I mentioned, getting started or restarting with a fitness journey. Here are some awesome tips for you. So number one is check your ego at the door. And I get this a lot. And us guys, we want to walk into a gym, even if we haven't touched a weight in 20 years, the first thought in our head is, I'm going to go lift some heavy stuff, right? I'm going to go bench press. I'm going to go squat or leg press heavy. But if we haven't done it in a while or ever, our ego can get in the way and we can start thinking about what other guys are looking at us or if we're being judged. So you have to go into the gym with a positive mindset. And that mindset should be to get your body moving and just feel out any pains or tightness. If you haven't been working out in a while, doing minimal amount of workout might get you sore, might get you tired. So a good way to get started is to map out your goals. What do you even want to accomplish? What are you looking to get out of the gym? It can be something as losing weight, gaining some muscle, increasing your bone density, lowering your cholesterol levels, or getting off of high blood pressure medications. So you want to set short, medium, and long-term goals, because that's going to help you chase the short-term goal, but also help you stay dedicated to your workout program over the long term. I would suggest seeking a professional's help. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to hire a trainer for a year. I would suggest at least talking to a trainer to make sure that you're at least getting assessed, to make sure that if you have any injuries that need to be looked out for, any limitations that you have. Because if you seek a professional's help, what a professional like myself can do is reduce the time to reach your goal. Because a professional will set you on the right path instead of you trying to just figure it out on your own. And by figuring it out on your own, you might get injured in the process. So a professional can help minimize or completely eliminate the ability or chance of you getting injured. And also it will help you develop a habit. So a lot of my clients will come to me simply because they need accountability. If they don't have the appointment to come to the gym, more than likely they're not going to do it, right? So even if you don't hire a trainer for, like I said, 6 months, I would at least suggest even getting just a couple sessions in with a trainer to make sure that your form is good, to make sure that all of that is taken care of and that you're on the right path for what you need. Now, I would suggest starting with lighter weights and higher reps. So higher reps meaning 12 to 15 reps. This is going to help get your body moving, but again, lighter weight. So we're not looking to push crazy heavy weight. This is going to develop your body. So it's going to help strengthen up your tendons, strengthen up your ligaments, strengthen up your bone structure to be able to handle heavier weights down the road. So if you just walk into the gym and start lifting heavy, your body hasn't been prepped for that, right? So you want to go through the development process, because if you're going to start working out, you want to turn it into a lifestyle and you want it to last a really long time. You really need to get out of the mindset of, I need to lift as much weights as possible. I need to lose this weight as fast as possible. What you need to focus on in your brain, in your mind, is longevity and sustainability. So I would start with 3 days a week. And this is a good, decent split that you can start with. So you will work out your chest and your shoulders and your triceps and a little bit of legs on day 1. Day 2 is just going to be cardio and stretching, getting your body moving, breaking up any of that soreness that you just had from day 1. And then day 3, now we're going to work on your back, your biceps, and your legs again. This is really how I start my clients on a 3-day-a-week program for the most part. Because if you just walk into the gym and you try to knock out 45 minutes of just legs, probably not going to be walking funny. You're probably not going to be walking right for the next couple of weeks. So a little bit of load on each muscle, at least for the first month or so to prep. Then you can start to notice, okay, well, my soreness level is going down a little bit. So now I can separate my body even more. So maybe now day 1 is just chest and shoulders and triceps. Maybe day 2, instead of cardio and stretching, now maybe that's just a leg day. And then maybe day 3 is just back and biceps. So you can start to split your body parts up as you go. But I would start with this method because it's going to be enough load for you to have soreness and muscle breakdown, but not too much load to where you're going to be extremely sore and maybe get injured. And the next one, super important, is understanding and accepting where you're at today. Having grace with yourself, knowing that, man, I haven't worked out in a couple years. I lost a lot of strength. I lost a lot of muscle. I lost a lot of endurance, but hey, it's okay because I'm here. I'm ready to get back to it. I'm ready to start working towards my fitness goals again. And that goes with number 1, which is, kind of checking that ego at the door a little bit and falling in love with your own journey. So work on improving your nutrition 1 day at a time. So if you're looking to get healthy again, you're looking to lose some weight or put on some muscle, you can't outwork a bad diet. Like if your diet, this is one thing I tell my clients, if you do not work on your nutrition, but you continue to work out, 2 things will happen. You will get stronger because you're going to be lifting weights. You're going to be building some sort of muscle. However, your body will not change in the way that you want to see it change if your nutrition doesn't change. So those are some tips there as far as how your nutrition will reflect into your fitness and how that will reflect on your goals. Stretching daily. And I know a lot of us have desk jobs, or we're sitting down a lot, or we're driving a lot in a car. So I stretch pretty much all day. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do some stretches. I'll stretch while I'm brushing my teeth. If I'm putting food in the microwave, I'm just stretching around. This is going to improve your blood flow. It's going to improve your mood. It's going to help your recovery from exercise. And it's going to reduce any pain and help prevent future pains down the road. Stretching is amazing. And if you stretch, if you go down to touch your toes and it hurts, it's okay. Again, remember number 6, understand and accept where you're at today and have grace with yourself and know, like, man, I can't touch my toes right now. Like, this is bad. That's okay. It's just something you need to work on, right? So I got into yoga because I'm not flexible and because my muscles were tight and I was challenging my body a lot. And I literally sat in an Indian style position for 15 minutes and I felt like I did a 5-hour back workout just from keeping my posture up. And I knew that that's what I needed to work on. So again, have grace with yourself, understand where you're at, know that you're starting your journey or wherever you're at, and we're getting better from here. And you can never drink enough water. Like, just continue, especially here in Arizona, this time of year, you may not even notice that you've sweated a lot because literally the sweat will evaporate off your skin and you won't even feel real sweaty. So just continue to drink water, especially because if you're looking to lose fat, a lot of our fat is actually lost through urine. So it's mobilized in our body as energy, and the byproduct of that, we want to get rid of, our body wants to get rid of the toxins and get rid of the fat. So a lot of it can be lost through urine. So if you're not drinking enough water, the fat isn't really going to have anywhere to go. So you want to make sure that your water intake is up. Go ahead next, Erica, unless you have something to say.
I love this. Yeah, I want to say I like that you touched on the fact that you do yoga. I'm curious if there's any men or women on the call today who have tried yoga, who have done yoga. I think it gets kind of a stigma, especially for the men to do it. And we actually offer yoga at the town. It's virtual now, but on Monday mornings and Thursday afternoons, we offer yoga classes, and I'd love to see more get into it. But it can really, I mean, I know for me, and I'm a weightlifter, but I do yoga and it really does help with my range of motion with my weightlifting, and has just helped so much too with sitting. You know, I know that there are probably a lot of people on this call who sit for their job in some way or form. So, I mean, I'm all for yoga. Or are there any stretches that you would recommend specifically for those who are sitting a lot and working on a computer, like for hip flexors, or you know, like what would you say would be your do you have that in? I don't want to skip ahead if you have.
No, I don't have that in here, but what I do want to suggest too is that if you don't want to be in front of an instructor, you don't want to be in a class of yoga, because sometimes it can be embarrassing. You know, if you're just like me, when I started, I struggled just sitting in Indian style. Like, it was embarrassing. So what I do is I actually do yoga with Adriene. If you just go on YouTube, yoga with Adriene, she's amazing. I've been using her online workouts, online yoga videos for years. You can put it on your computer, put it on your TV at home. And she has hundreds of videos from whatever you need, from back pain to tight hamstrings to hangovers to stress to literally any type of yoga that you would want. But as far as movements go, so if you think about the position that you're in, maybe even right now, you might be hunched over. So you might feel a little pressure in your lower back. You might, even standing there, you might have your shoulders a little more rounded forward. We're on our phones all day, so we're leaning forward into the phone. So what I would always suggest is we want to reverse this posture, the posture of leaning forward and being hunched. So we want to open up the chest, open up the back. So moves that are going to do that, if you want to write these down, super easy to just YouTube and Google these moves. One is going to be Superman's, which is literally just laying on your stomach and lifting up your arms and legs at the same time. Another one is going to be cat-cow. So if you want to, like I said, if you want to write these down, you can just go right on YouTube, and these are very basic terms, and the video will pop up. Another one is going to be bird dogs. It's called a bird dog. So you're on your hands and knees and you're lifting your opposite arm and opposite leg. And then really another one that I would work on would be planks. So doing elbow planks on your front and on your side. A plank is one of the best moves you can do for your abdomen and your lower back to strengthen up that stability. So those are some moves that I would suggest to really help with if you sit down a lot, if you have back pain. Also doing just a basic hip flexor stretch, so a kneeling hip flexor, stretching out the front of your legs, quad stretches, which is basically just grabbing your ankle and pulling your foot back towards your butt and stretching out your quad. I know that yoga isn't like the most macho thing to do, but I'm telling you, once you get into it, it's going to have so many more benefits than just how you feel on your body. It can be an amazing stress reliever because it's going to help your body. It's going to help your mind and your body to just unplug from the world for however long you do yoga, whether it's 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. There are no rules to what you need to do to help your own body. So if you just want to do yoga for 5 minutes, that's amazing, because 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes. So I hope that answered your question there, Erica.
It did. And I'm sorry, I had to pull something up because I'm going to put a link in the chat to where to find a link to those yoga classes that we have. And I also put those movements that you said. I put those in the chat for everybody if you want to look them up. Even just what you did, Rob. So when you sat up and you pulled your shoulders back, like I did that when you did, and I was like, wow, that even that just makes a difference in how you feel. So
so even like when you open up your chest, just squeeze your back. Just a move that I try and do is you take your elbows and try and touch them behind your back. Obviously, you're not going to get there. It'd be impressive if you did, but just pulling those elbows back is going to activate those back muscles. It's going to help open up your chest and shoulders.
I love it. All
cool.
Right, I'll let you keep going.
Here we go. All right. So if you're already in a workout program, go ahead and click it one more time. This is how you can level up that program. So how you know you need to change up your program. You've been doing the same routine for a long time. And by a long time, I mean like 6 months or longer. You're going to the gym. You're doing the same thing every day. Now, that's not bad. But if you're looking to get better, we need to change some things up. So maybe you haven't noticed a change in your body or a change in your strength, or you haven't improved your endurance at all. You just notice nothing's changing. Maybe your body's starting to break down and you're actually getting injured. You might be just bored of going to the gym, which will actually have you start avoiding the gym altogether. Because you're just not sure what else to do and it's getting boring. So some tips to level up your current workout plan would be to seek professional guidance, mentorship for proper assessment, meaning that you can say, hey, you talk to a trainer and say, I've been doing this workout program for this long and I got results pretty quickly, but then I plateaued. How can I change this up? How can I change it up in a healthy way that's going to keep me safe, keep me injury free, and keep me towards my goals? Now, mix up which muscle groups you work out on certain days. Now, you saw me lay out, day 1, day 2, day 3. Now, as you do that for about a month, your body is smart. Your body is the smartest supercomputer on earth. So your body will adapt to whatever you do. So if you keep hitting the same muscle groups in the same style of workout on the same days, your body will adapt and you really will stop seeing progress. Also, I would have you mix up your rep ranges and number of sets. So if you're doing 3 sets of 12, next time do 3 sets of 15. Next time do 4 sets of 12. Next time do 3 sets of 10. And how you know if you're doing enough reps or using the right weight. So let's say you're doing a set of 10 reps. If you get, let's say you're doing bench press and you get to that 10th rep and you rack the weight, and in your head you think I probably could have done 5 more reps, then you know you need to increase that weight a little bit. What should happen is you should get to number 7 or 8 and be like, okay, I hope I get to 10, right? And then when you get to 10 and you rack it and you think I probably may have gotten 1 more or I barely got 10, that's where you want to be. And if you're not reaching that 10 rep mark because it's too heavy, then you need to just take a little bit of weight off. So it's just about adjusting and paying attention to your body and knowing that, okay, well, I want to do 12 reps. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that by number 12, I'm pretty spent and I need to rest before I do it again. You can also change from reps to time. So instead of doing a set of 12, you can do a set of 30 seconds. So that helps keep it interesting. It helps keep it fun. And also, like the next line says, make it fun and different from the basic movements. So if you're doing a bench press, let's say you're doing dumbbell bench press, next time just do 1 arm. Next time, put your back on a stability ball and do chest press. Next time, grab some cables and just hit your chest in a different way with different pieces of equipment, different stability factors, whether you're using a bench or a stability ball or a BOSU ball. Like you can do the same chest press movement 20 different ways, and that will help keep your workout program fun and interesting. And it's also going to challenge your body a little bit differently too. So change your scenery. If you go to the same gym all the time, that can be great. It's familiar. You know the people there. But again, it can get stagnant. If you notice yourself not really going to the gym, maybe you don't even realize you haven't been to the gym in a couple weeks, you might need to go maybe find a new gym, get around some new people, get around some different styles of energy. I would also add in fitness as a hobby. And this can be golfing. I love golfing. I love doing boxing. I haven't gotten into jiu-jitsu yet, but that's a lot of fun. Hot yoga or regular yoga, archery, recreational sports like there's men's league softballs, there's men's league hockey. There's a lot of different sports that you can get into, and even hiking. I mean, except unless you're going to go at like 5 a.m. now, you might have to wait a month or two to start hiking here in Arizona. I would suggest getting a workout and an accountability partner, because you're going to need someone. I mean, you may not need them, but I know that I love having someone to help keep me accountable. And those days that I don't want to go to the gym, guess what? I have my buddy going with me. I don't want to disappoint him. I'm going to go. We're going to work out together. And then the last thing would be set new goals. Maybe you haven't looked at your goals in a while. Maybe you haven't reached that weight loss goal, so you kind of just got stagnant and kind of gave up on it. So set some new goals, because that's going to have you striving for something else. It's going to have you chasing something. I don't know if you're like me. I like to compete. I grew up playing football, hockey, and lacrosse, and now I play golf, and like I'm competitive. So if I can compete with myself, that helps me with my workout program to continue to stay consistent in that. So go ahead and let's go next. So now we're going to transition into a little bit of chronic disease and a little bit of sleep and stress. One more click should be good. So 650,000. If this number doesn't sound familiar, this is how many people die of heart disease every single year, back to back. Heart disease is the undefeated killer of humans every year. Unfortunately, this number is not a very highlighted number in the world for some reason, because heart disease is very preventable. I mean, obviously, unless you have some sort of predisposition when it comes to your genetics, some things are out of our control. But for the most part, this 650,000 should be way, way less, because this is a preventable, for the most part, disease. So other highly preventable diseases are going to be hypertension with high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and osteoporosis, which is literally just having weaker bones, and your bones actually have little holes in them. So that's the other benefit to lifting weights, is not only you're going to get stronger, your tendons and ligaments are going to be great, your hormones are going to be balanced, you're going to have good testosterone levels, but your bones are going to be stronger. And there's a statistic that says if you're over the age of 70 and you fall down and you break your hip, you have a 5-year life expectancy after that. Only 5 years is the average that someone over 70 years old will survive after breaking a hip. Simply because then they're going to be bedridden or bound to a wheelchair, which leads to really fast muscle atrophy, which is muscle breakdown. So lifting and building up those strong bones is really a key, again, to living a long, healthy life, especially in our later years. So some major causes and risk factors that can lead into these diseases would be a sedentary lifestyle. So like I said, muscle atrophy, your muscles are going to break down and get smaller. Your metabolism then is going to be unhealthy, and you're going to have low hormone production, which can lead to low testosterone and all of those side effects that I just talked about. Poor nutrition can lead to this. It'll clog your arteries. You'll be malnourished. You'll have low energy, which low energy leads to low activity, which can then lead to muscle atrophy and go down that rabbit hole. And it can also lead to high blood sugar, which is can lead to diabetes. So poor sleep habits can also cause these preventable diseases. So you'll lack recovery, your cognitive function won't be as good, and it'll actually reduce your memory capacity too. And then the last one, age, it's inevitable. So you heard me say stack the deck in your favor. There will be things in your life that are out of your control, as far as if you have a hereditary disease or something like that, or you get in a car accident, or something happens out of your control. But for the most part, your fitness, your nutrition, your sleep, your stress management, all of those can either work in your favor, or the lack of those can work really bad in your favor. So for me, I like to stack the deck, and I say, hey, I'm going to control everything that I can control. And if I get in a car accident or something happens out of my control, I know that I couldn't control that. But I'm not going to get older and be unhealthy because of my own personal choices. So you can stack the deck no matter what your nutrition and your health life looks like right now. Doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter how fit you are. Today is a new day, to turn the page, to be a healthier you, so that you can live a healthier life, not just for yourself, but for those around you and your families also. So let's go ahead and let's go next. Coming up right on time, so I think this should be good. If you want to go to the next
one more
screen.
point at the
there
bottom.
You go. One more. Yeah, so check your engine. As guys, we can be stubborn or act tough when we feel, tired, when our memory isn't that great, we're irritable. Sometimes we can just act tough and suck it up, right? So I call it getting your oil changed. And I was trying to move this little bar at the bottom here. Ooh, I think it went away. So a big benefit of having a PCP is so that you can catch problems early. Even if you're completely healthy, you feel like you're completely healthy, something may be off in your body that you're unsure of, that is wreaking havoc inside your body until it then presents itself physically. It's also going to give you a nice peace of mind that you are healthy and that you're not just kind of shooting from the hip when it comes to your health. Normal life problems and issues can be prevented, like being moody, having just normal aches and pains. And like normal means like no pain is normal. So you should really get that looked at. If you're not sleeping right, if you have low energy or your sex drive is low, like us guys, we can just think like, oh, that's just normal. I'm just getting old. I hit 30 and it's all downhill from here, right? Well, wrong. Like you shouldn't have to live in pain, or you shouldn't have to be moody, or your sleep. If you're like, I've never gotten good sleep before, well, there's something going on that can actually be fixed and help you get better sleep. So again, get your engines checked. You check the engine on your car, you get it oil changed, you get the tires rotated. Don't treat your car better than you treat your own body. So I think now we can go to the next one. So here we go into sleep management. So some tactics for better sleep. Reduce the stimulation after 8 p.m. So this can be turning the lights off or dimming them. You don't want to have really bright stimulating lights when you're trying to calm down and go to sleep. Lower the screen brightness and turn your phone on night mode, which will kind of look like a sepia. So it'll turn off the blue light, which is stimulating. Put your phone on vibrate or completely silent. That way it's not a distraction. Lower the TV volume. So what I always do is I lower the volume until I can just barely hear it. Not to where I'm like, can't hear it, but it's low enough to where it's not super stimulating. And if you're watching TV, reduce the intensity of what you're watching before bed. You don't want to get all anxious and energized before you're trying to go to sleep. And try not to bring stimulants to bed. So I don't even have a TV in my room. I try not to bring my phone into bed with me. And we have a tendency to want to scroll through social media, which is okay. Just do it outside of your room. Your room should be your sleep haven. When you get into your room, it should be like, okay, I'm ready for bed. Not I'm going to be up for another 3 hours scrolling social media or playing some game on my phone. I like to use a sound machine that helps with the white noise. You can have nature sounds. Like I like to sleep to a thunderstorm because I'm from the East Coast and I like rain. If you can't fall asleep, like if you're laying in bed and you're literally like, I can't sleep, just get out of bed for 5 minutes and just go sit in another room, sit in the dark, breathe, meditate, and then wake up early if you tend to sleep in. So if you sleep until 11, if it's possible, you might not be able to get back to sleep until maybe 11 or 12 at night. So the earlier you wake up, the earlier you'll be tired. And then try not to veer too off course on the weekends. So, don't try not to stay up till 2, 3 a.m. on the weekends. That'll ruin a lot of your sleep early in the week. And then if you absolutely need it, use some sleep aids. Mild melatonin, I say. And by mild, meaning I only use about 6 milligrams and I won't go higher than that because melatonin can be addictive. Which means that you'll get used to it and you'll need to take more and then more. CBD is great, or lavender in the form of oil, lotion, or a diffuser, because lavender is very calming. So we can go to the next. Those are great ways to help with your sleep. Now managing your stress, and we're about to wrap this thing up in the next couple slides. So signs of stress would be elevated heart rate, sweating, headaches, tight muscles, especially in your neck and shoulder area. Unexpected weight gain, because cortisol is a secret killer. Now I'm going to touch on this really quick. So cortisol is your stress hormone. So it's fight or flight response. So if you're sitting at a computer and you get stressed from something happened, a coworker made you mad, or there's something going on in your life, your body will mobilize blood glucose and sugar from your liver, because sugar is energy. So when back in the day, when let's say cavemen needed to fight a tiger, fight or flight kicks in, and you need the energy to either fight or flight. Now our body has that same exact stress response, except now we're not fighting tigers and needing to run. We're just sitting at a desk. So when we get an influx of blood sugar, we don't have anywhere to put it. We don't put it into running. We don't put it into a fight. So what happens is we actually store it as fat. Increases our blood sugar, and then our blood sugar can get dropped very quickly from insulin, and now you feel sick, you feel jittery. So making sure that we're keeping ourselves calm in stressful situations so that we don't get an influx of cortisol when we don't really need it. Irritability and mood is another sign, interrupted sleep. And then the last one is wanting to escape your life. If you have a feeling of, man, I gotta get out of here. Like I need to escape this. This is way too stressful. Be aware of the people in your life who will enable that. People who ask you to go drink every night, or want to go party on the weekends all the time, or just do things that don't really serve you, but are ways to escape. So unhealthy ways that some of these enablers or even yourself might lean on would be drinking alcohol, using drugs, binge eating, or just eating unhealthy food, comfort food, uncontrolling aggression. So, punching walls or just picking fights with people, isolating yourself for a long period of time, and then simply ignoring it, having the suck it up mentality. These are ways that you can see like, oh, I've actually had a couple drinks almost every night this week. I might be stressed out. I might be trying to avoid what I'm stressed out from instead of confronting it. So let's go next.
All right. And just so you know, it is top of the hour. So we do have some people that are jumping. But if you have some more content, I know stress management is super important, and I love all of these tips. So we'll just finish up, and this is recorded so they can catch the end. Perfect. On the recording.
Yeah, I think there's only maybe one or two. So healthy and effective tactics to manage your stress would be to pause, take deep breaths, alternate nostril breathing. You can go ahead and look that up on how to do it. It's very, very simple and very effective when it comes to stress. Yoga, meditation, like I said, even if it's for just 5 minutes, short-term isolation. So sometimes it is important to separate yourself from people just for a short period of time so you can collect your thoughts and collect your emotions. Read or listen to personal development books. Find something that speaks to you. And then healthy outlets to manage your stress. Like I said, exercise, sports, boxing is awesome. Usually getting your body moving, and then seeking out a friend, an ear that you can talk to, someone that can really just listen and be there for you when you need it. So when to seek help, remember to check your ego and ditch that suck it up mentality that I used to have. So if you have a constant urge to escape, like I said, every night you're like, I need a drink, or on the weekends you're looking for ways to escape your normal life, that's a pretty good sign. Relationships are becoming stressful and argumentative on a consistent basis. So maybe you're arguing with a spouse a lot, or you're arguing with a friend a lot. And it just comes from stress, and you don't really know where it's coming from. You're constantly lashing out at others, could turn into road rage, or just maybe just a pure lack of patience with other people can stem from inner stress. And then your quality of work is being affected on a daily basis. Those are ways when you're like, hey, I need to get some help here. I need to talk to someone because something needs to change in my life for the better. So go ahead and go next.
I love this. And just real quick on this slide, as far as where to seek help, we do have an employee assistance program that is free to all employees on the health plan, or not just on the health plan, just all employees to call in. There's also some peer support groups. If you're a firefighter or police officer, there's peer support groups. So there is definitely some resources through the town for reaching out. And then of course you can go outside and find yourself, a therapist of some sort, or find your own resources as well. But just wanted to throw that in there.
Yes, yes, absolutely. There is no shame in seeking help, because you deserve, at the bottom of the last slide, it said you deserve to be happy and healthy. So that is my presentation, and I appreciate all of you guys who stuck around for the extra couple minutes. I apologize that we went over a little bit, and obviously thanking everyone else who was on this call, and thanking you, Erica, for having me on this platform. We're going to be sending out an email because all of you were entered in to win some training and an assessment. And I'm also going to be sending out my contact information in case you have any questions, you want to talk about some fitness or some nutritional stuff. I want to be a resource for you guys to reach out to. I'm always here to help. So Erica, I appreciate you. And that's all that I have today, unless anyone has questions or you have any questions for me.
That was awesome. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to jump in. It's a lot of information. I appreciate you going through all that.
It was a lot. I know I did kind of blast through it. Let's see. I just opened up the chat. Awesome, guys.
I don't see any questions. And again, we'll send out an email, and
Perfect.
I'm sure you'd be happy to follow up with any questions that come after that. So, and this is recorded, so we'll have this recording for everyone as well. And great. Well, thank you so much, Rob.
Awesome.
It was great having you. You did awesome. Lots of great information. Especially, it's relatable to both men and women, but I think, for men especially, a lot of these points hit home as far as just paying attention to your health and, setting these goals for yourself and getting out there and doing it. So,
yeah.
Awesome job. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.